I reflected on this earlier with a client actually, and the beautiful thing that I suppose the fortunate position I found myself in is I work with a lot of leaders.
Yeah.
And I'll share a story with you if you're open to that, Charlie, about something that's encouraged and lit me up this week. Is I've had 2 sessions with leaders, one in America and one in the UK. Most of the leaders that I attract and that I work with are heart-centered.
Yeah.
You might not know it when they first come to me, but there's a reason they're attracted to the reason, for working with me. And what's been beautiful this week about the conversations is I've used my platform and the opportunity to work with people in an intimate setting to say, I'm seeing that this is affecting you, but what can you change? What is it about this experience that you can change? And the subject of protesting came up in the second conversation that I was mentioning. And, the individual who is, a white male said, very similar to you, he said, there's been many protests, but nothing's changed. And he said, and it's got me thinking, what role can I play, but strategically?
Yeah.
And it led to a beautiful experience in that session. And at the end of the session, the individual leaving with a very inspired idea about how they can use their influence to create change, and it was beautiful. I mean, I felt emotional at the end of the session. I thought, because this is why I do my work, right?
Yeah.
Why we do our work. And what really struck me was that when you talked about looking at things differently, Charlie, in your career in life, taking a step back, strategize, seeing opportunities. When you talked about the pink envelope, speaking to mentors or people that can support you. And then looking through life at a different lens, looking for opportunities to impact the world in a sustainable way. And I realized that is key whenever change is apparent or needed, is that time and space, that slowing down to speed up is necessary. Like my sessions provide that space for the individual to come to the realization that there is stuff that I could do, but what is it?
Yeah.
So how do we encourage that more? How do we get young people particularly to tap into that ingenuity, to tap into that strategic thinking?
Well, it's funny because I think that this period of lockdown has been the best marketing exercise for wellness and well-being and, spirituality that has ever been. So if you want to get young people in particular, to really have a think during these times, actually introducing the idea of, by accepting some of these practices and this way of thinking that you may think is a bit hippie, a bit not for you, will actually make you a more powerful individual, a more powerful young person. Because I think that what a lot of people are not realizing, that if you're a young person, your routine has been really disrupted. So although most kids are like, I hate school, school's boring. Actually, you know how summer holidays gets boring in the 6th week? Where you're like, man, it's just another day playing in the woods, playing on the estate, or playing in the park, doing the same thing that I did yesterday with my parents watching over me. Oh my God. A lot of these kids have suddenly had the routine disrupted. Sorry?
And the parents wondering, when are the schools going back?
Yeah, when the school's going back. A lot of kids, young people have had, the routine disrupted. School and education has come to an end prematurely. They've been forced to learn in a new way, which involves even more time digitally online. Their friendship groups have been disrupted because tone doesn't necessarily translate online. And so if you're a young person, then, for example, you're going through, this current period of time, you've seen the events, the death of George Floyd, the reactions of people around the world, and you're in a friendship group that is multicultural and diverse, because a lot of young people who are growing up now, unlike in my time when I grew up, they are actually at school and they've got, a healthy number of friends of different genders, sexualities, beliefs, and so on and so forth. They can't have the conversations that they need to be having now because they can't physically see the person. So it's a quite difficult time for young people at the moment. And as I always say to people is like, if you demonize young people or you don't help young people, do not be surprised when the thing that you're trying to, the inequality or the situation that you're trying to change doesn't change. Because actually you haven't spent time teaching the people, your future leaders, your future decision makers, how to think, how to strategize, how to deal with this new world that you're in. So, I think we all have responsibility. If we've got a young person who's holed up in their bedroom right now, and all you can hear is Call of Duty coming out from underneath the door, to actually go in there and start having these difficult conversations because they're your kids. I think a lot of us expect the education of young people and the welfare of young people to be, and the development of young people to be the job of the institution that we have been told will sort them out and give them all the knowledge and the information that they need. Well, I don't know about you and what your time at school has been like, but I'm sure there are things that you wish you had been taught at school that you never learned. Yeah. I definitely had things that I wish I'd been taught at school that I never learned. And so the cycle continues. And so what we can do with young people is realize, look, the system at the moment is broken. But I believe in you. You're the future. You're the way out. It could be your generation that sorts this out. So I'm going to give you these skills. I'm going to introduce you to this thing so that you're learning how to meditate at 15, not when you're 35 and your third business has failed.
Yeah.
Which is what happens at the moment. And I think the more we kind of teach our young people that there are alternative methods of thinking, of approaching a situation, there are alternative methods of thinking, then change will start happening. But at the moment we have a school system where it's like, they send you to go read a book, and because your interpretation of the book is not what the official interpretation is, they then tell you that you're wrong.
Yeah.
And this is where it starts. It's like, and then you're not allowed to question, because if you question, then you're being defiant, And so I think a lot of young people, they're crushed by the system before they even emerge. I just happened, luckily to get slightly crushed by the system and then be sent away to another country to regather my thoughts and then come back and be like, right, okay, I've seen a bit of the world and now I'm back. This is how we're moving forward.